Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha here, joined by these two awesome gentlemen for another fun conversation about everything that's going on in the world of professional wrestling. Aaron Turner, my man down in Orlando, how are you, brother?
Good. I'm not on the dials. You can't blame me for that late lower third you just put on there. Actually, I'm actually recovering because the other day I was out in my backyard. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you have this in California, but I got fucking eat up by fire ants. And
were you laying down on the ground?
No. I saw an anthill and I was spraying it with, insect killer, and they swarmed me, dude. And it was like it was over before it even started.
They tried to live, man. You were trying to kill them, and they tried to live.
Rough day.
I don't have fire ants where I live for sure. Chris Burns joining us as well again. Chris, how about you? Fire ants? Well, what's your day going like?
Black people don't live around fire ants. But yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I'm fresh from SmackDown live last night, live and in person. I hadn't gone to formerly the Arrowhead Pond in a long, long time. That's where I was at WrestleMania 12. It's so wild being in that building, seeing like how small it is, and knowing that a WrestleMania took place there at one point. But I was rewarded because I don't usually buy modern shirts, like I've said many times on this on this show, but they had an exclusive, old school.
Yeah, how can you not buy that?
Anaheim
Mighty Ducks, dated.
Yeah,
that's really
situation.
Cool. Had to do it. Growing up in Southern California, if you know how important the Mighty Ducks were to us at one point, and so come on,
yeah, fair enough. That's awesome, dude. That's a great shirt. Chris has got a crap ton of great shirts there sitting right behind him, which is fantastic. But we're going to get into so much. Yeah, what do you got today with NJPW? What is that one? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're just going to logo. Logo. Come on.
Nice.
I would show you the tag, but this is from Japan. This ain't a pro wrestling tease.
It's an
version of this. You
Not that anything wrong pro wrestling tees. Not that anything wrong.
Not that anything's wrong pro wrestling tees. Go to pro wrestling tees right now and get your strong style stuff. Let's do it.
But I recently just upgraded because of the NFL season for the NFL Red Zone, but I had to get the sports package on YouTube TV. That's how they do it. They kind of get you for an extra $10 a month, and it's cheaper than paying for an NFL direct ticket. But I get all these extra sports channels, and they include pro wrestling channels. So I've been watching some old TNA, some old NJPW stuff. It's fascinating. There's like 2 or 3 channels that get in the package there that it's just wrestling all day long, 24 hours a day, and they're showing pay-per-views, they're showing rivalries. It's fantastic stuff. So I've caught myself more than a few times going, well, I got 20 minutes. I'm gonna watch what's Chris Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Jarrett. All right, I'll take a look at that. Why not? Looks like a lot of fun. Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. Let's do it. I love it. So a lot of interesting stuff to discover for sure. So and NJPW stuff is so much fun to watch. For sure, and catch up on as well. But we are going to talk about all the things going on here stateside with the big stuff going on in AEW Dynamite, WWE Raw, SmackDown, PWI's top 500 wrestlers. And we're going to talk about this idea. Who would have thought it? And Aaron Turner sent us a great gif of John Bernthal reacting to this thing. Logan Paul taking on Roman Reigns for the Universal title in Crown Jewel. We're going to cover all of that as we go along here on the show. Please remember Streamlabs and SuperChat. Send them in to support the show. The Streamlabs address is right above Aaron's head. The SuperChats, send them in. We'll read them as we go along on the show. Already, first one in here from Chris Miner saying he ran into Tommy Dreamer waiting in line at Halloween Horror Nights here in Orlando. Nice guy. Do you guys have a favorite interaction with a wrestler? I like that. Real quick. What do you got there, gentlemen? Someone go first. Go ahead.
One of my favorites.
You must have a few.
I do, but one of my favorites, and I got to find the picture for you guys one of these days. But we had a roast of the Iron Sheik at the Comedy Store, and I'm going through the kitchen, and I would think I was wearing an NWO shirt or something like that, and I just hear, "Yo, for life!" And I look around, and Buff Bagwell is hammered, hanging out in the kitchen, and literally forced me to take a picture with him. I mean, I tried. I was like, oh yeah, you know, a fan for a long time. I loved your stuff in WCW. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take a picture. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm you know, I'm running the show. It's a whole thing, and you know, forced me. So I think I was sort of indoctrinated into the NWO. I think I was made an official member of that too.
All right.
So that kind of makes me a double, like a double stable person. I think.
Trying to be the Black X-Pac over here, for God's sakes. Part of all the factions in the world. What about you, Aaron? What do you got?
So I used to work at a video store. I know that a lot of people are like, what the hell is a video store? But this place you would go to rent DVDs and VHS tapes. I worked at a movie gallery, and right next door was a gym. And I, like my younger athletic days, I would go to the gym and then I would go to work. And I went to the gym, and as I was leaving, I saw this like giant bus pull in, and I was like, oh wow, it must be like Burt Reynolds or something. And then I went over to work to start working, and I'm like checking people out, doing my thing and returning movies. And this guy comes up, he goes, hey, you got a copy of Wedding Crashers by chance that I could buy? And I was like, yeah, I think so. Let me look. And I turn around, and it is none other than The Game. Triple H wanting a copy of Wedding Crashers for his bus. So I sold Triple H a copy of Wedding Crashers. We kept his credit card receipt with his, like a duplicate of it with his real name and signature in the back room until the place closed. So it was a lot of fun, interesting interaction there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know if I've got a favorite one. You know, I mean, I met Triple H at SmackDown one time. He was really nice. Kurt Angle was really nice. I think maybe X-Pac. You know, every once in a while, X-Pac and I will go back and forth on Twitter about something. So every interaction I have with him, he's always kind. He's always respectful. He likes what I do, which is kind of humbling for me, to be honest with you, because I have such respect for him. So those, I guess I would say those are my favorite things, my interactions with X-Pac all the time. I've rarely seen wrestlers in person. I mean, Raven was fun over, over Zoom. So obviously we've interviewed a bunch of people, but my personal interactions, I love whenever X-Pac and I have a little exchanges on Twitter. Those are fun for sure. But yeah, so there you go. All right, well, let's move on there. Let's jump into it. As I said, Streamlabs super chats are open. Send them in as we go along here. Aaron, where are we going first?
We are going to take this with a giant grain of salt. It is the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 500. It released this week in digital format.
Yeah,
I believe the physical comes later, but I'm going to give you the top 10. We're going to talk about stuff because it became a big hubbub, as it always does, even though it doesn't mean anything. So the top 10 in descending order. At number 10, we had Jonathan, and I should let you know that their grading period runs from like July to July. It's a weird. I don't know why they don't do it yearly. It would make a whole lot more sense, but anyway.
Right.
At number 10, they had Jonathan Gresham. At number 9, Big E. At number 8, El Hijo Del.
Okay.
Number 7, Bryan Danielson. Number 6, Cody Rhodes. And in the top 5, we have number 5, Bobby Lashley. Number 4, Hangman Adam Page. Number 3, CM Punk. Number 2, Kazuchika Okada. And number 1, it's the big dog, the head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. So there's your top 10. Let me give you some other notables real quick. Jon Moxley came in at number 12. The first indie guy really that popped up was Matt Cardona, formerly Zack Ryder, at number 13.
Yeah.
MJF was number 16. Seth Rollins, number 17. And despite a year of absolute banger matches, Gunther, 91 on the list. So
wow.
There is the some PWI top 500 people. So there you go. What do you think?
Wow. I'm really surprised.
It's also worth noting that they do a separate, I think, either 100 or 250 for the women. So it's separate.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just surprised that Punk's at 3. I'm really surprised Punk is that high. Simply because, has he been wrestling a lot of banger matches? I don't know if banger matches are necessarily in Punk's repertoire over the last 12 months. So it surprises me a little bit that he'd be that high. I'm sure they're factoring in reactions and moving the needle and all of that. So I'm kind of surprised to see him. And then Adam Hangman Page right below him. That's even more surprising, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'd put him in, considering what's happened recently with him. I don't know I don't know if I'd put him in the top 10 even. So that's kind of a surprising situation. And Moxley so far down the list as well is a little bit surprising, down to 12 out of the top 10. MJF also at 16. I mean, MJF, talk about moving the needle and delivering great matches. Even though he wrestles once every 6 months or something like that, it still matters. So I don't know. It's an interesting list for sure. Don't know if I agree with a lot of the rankings, but certainly fun to discuss. What do you think there, Chris?
I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, it's like when people make these lists of like all-time great, basketball players and stuff like that. At least there's like stats, you know what I mean, to like go off of. This is purely a mark list. It's just like, I don't know, CM Punk, you know what I mean? It's Roman Reigns, like, because I mean, what are we talking about here? Like Seth Rollins at 17, you know what I'm saying? Like, not like he was before what Kevin Owens has done in recent months. Was not Seth Rollins the MVP of Monday Night Raw for like 2 years?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Like, I totally get Roman Reigns being number 1. Totally get that. Totally get Okada at 2. And then, like you said, after that, it gets really effing murky. Like, Punk has been gone for a very long time. You know what I mean? And Page, yeah, he was the world champion, but we've talked about it here on the show. Are we going to be remembering his world title reign as one of legend? Like, oh God, he was just so great as world champion. Yeah. Jon Moxley, in this truncated period of time where he was the interim champion, I feel like had a bigger impact than Adam Page. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I feel like that way as well.
Same thing. I mean, look, I love Big E. Top 10 of the last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we? I don't get what the qualifications
even Cody Rhodes in top 10 is really kind of shocking, to be honest.
It is.
I ushered him out of AEW, and then he wrestled one match with the fucking torn pec and shit, which was great, but there weren't that many memorable matches after he went back to the WWE, so it's kind of shocking.
Yeah, it's a very odd list. So. Yeah. You're gonna extrapolate from it what you will. It's very, it's a very personal thing for us, Mark. So it's really up to you what you make of this list, I guess.
Fair enough. Aaron, thoughts on this list?
Well, I'm not going to completely bury it. I think that the PWI Top 500 is good for guys that you may not know about. Like, I remember reading this magazine like when I was 16, 17, and that's how I first found out about dudes like Roderick Strong. By reading this, and then you're like, oh, what's Ring of Honor? And then you find stuff out about like that, because they do blurbs about everybody. Of course you know who Roman Reigns is, of course you know who Rollins is, and Hangman and all these people, but you may not know I don't know, some dude from Japan or some guy on the indies that's doing interesting things. Like, okay, well, maybe I need to check that out. It's great for them.
Right.
I just think it's a bunch of horse shit. Like, your grading period's weird. Like, you need to fix that. Like, nobody's looking for that, right? Like, everybody's used to doing like the best of the year, the best, like when January, February rolls around, we're getting the best of the year list. Like, we don't need one in September. Like, it's whatever, but they need to fix. I know the grading period's like, it's weird, and they just need to fix that.
Yeah. Any really glaring standout for you? I know you said you don't want to bury it, but is there a glaring standout for you, or a couple of them?
I think the Gunther one is like, what in the hell is going on? Yeah. Jey Uso. I thought Jey Uso had a great year, and he's at 139. Like, people that are ahead of him are Jonah, who wasn't even like here for half the year.
Right.
And then Happy Corbin's ahead of him. Moss is ahead of him.
That's ridiculous.
I'm just like, dude, Jey Uso has been fucking killing it. Here's another one that actually really pissed me off. The Miz. 150.
Oh yeah,
The Miz.
Yeah,
The Miz. You know who's ahead of The Miz? Rich Swann,
Sammy Guevara,
Masato Tanaka,
Zack Sabre Jr. I think is ahead of fucking Miz.
Hook, Nick Gage, Allie Katch, who's a woman. I don't know.
Eddie Kingston. Give me a break. Come on.
Allie Katch is really good, actually.
It's insane that this happens. Like. And just like looking through Sting, number 173, just ahead of Rey Mysterio.
Wow.
So
where's Dominic? All the way 499.
I would be surprised if Dominic's on the list, but now I have to look. So I'm scrolling down and I still don't see him.
He might not be on the list.
Trent Beretta at 270.
Who's at 500? Who's at 500?
It's got to be some indie guy I've never heard of.
Dustin Wilson.
Never heard of him.
Stan Styles is right above him.
The Ultimo Dragon at 465. Shout out to Ultimo Dragon.
Wow. Is he still wrestling?
He still does, even though he has basically one arm.
Oh my God.
Good for him. I don't see him. Like, I don't see Dominic at all. So I think that's
not shocker.
I could be wrong.
Your boy, the Blade, is at 454 there, right?
Well, you have to get TV time for that. That's not his fault.
A shame. Super Crazy is still doing it 449. Wow.
Yeah, Super Crazy was still wrestling.
Dude, those guys wrestle in Mexico forever. Like, it just doesn't.
Dude, Apollo Crews 423. Yikes.
This definitely isn't my list. That is for sure. That is for true.
Oh, wow. Ricky Morton is ranked higher than Apollo Crews. Ricky Morton.
I'm going to go ahead and stand by that. I'm going to go ahead and stand right by that. I probably voted for that spot. Yeah, well, Draws Walker's got a good point. Josh Alexander, I think he was at 14.
Yeah,
that's a good one. He's had a good year. Josh Alexander, the Impact heavyweight champion, he's great. Aaron Warler says, "Where is Braun Breaker?" I think he's like 24. I think he was in like top 25.
He's in the top 25.
So that's fair. He's had a good year.
Pillman Jr. is down at 353. Danhausen at 331. That's a crime. Okay.
Well, Danhausen also didn't wrestle like half the year. Like, a lot of these people were gone for a bit. So
where's Bad Bunny?
Number one in my book. Clarissa says Dom is 292.
292, Dominic. There you go. Ziggler, just above him at 280.
Listen, we can do this all day. The main point of the PWI 500 is getting to know people you don't already know. I think that's where it's important.
Fair enough.
I would not base anything on these rankings. Jonathan Gresham, they don't mean anything. So you can't go to somebody and be like, yo, I'm number 8 on the PW. No one gives a shit. Like, it's
Sting just above Matt Hardy. All right, anyway, all right, let's move on. What do we got? What else we got here, Aaron? Where do we move on to?
Well, we're going to talk about that little tidbit you dropped at the beginning of the show. It is rumored that Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul will headline the Crown Jewel event. There will be a press conference at 3:30 today in Las Vegas to allegedly announce this. What do you think of the prospect of the Tribal Chief taking on Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia?
Chris?
What do you want? Yeah. Okay. All right. I know what most of you are probably thinking out there. I don't want to see this. I don't give a blah, blah, boo. What? Just take a second. Think about what show this is.
Yeah.
It's Crown Jewel. It doesn't, I understand. A lot of times when you're playing like a game like chess or checkers or something like that. Oh,
listen to this. Oh, I like this. Okay, go ahead.
I like where this is going.
You can't complain about how the rules are set up. You can't be like, well, why can't a knight go forward? Why can't a knight or a bishop go sideways? You can't get mad at the structure. You got to figure out how to win within the structure itself. Okay?
Okay.
WWE is going to do these shows. They have a contract. They make a shit ton of money, sometimes more than WrestleManias in the past. They've made at these Saudi Arabia shows.
Yeah.
So nothing of consequence, I don't think, has ever happened at any of these shows, except I think The Fiend won the vacant world title once because the title was vacant because someone was hurt. That's the only time anything's mattered. Okay? So, with that being said, why the fuck not? Why not? Logan, aside from him not working at all as a babyface, he's going to bring so much attention. They're having a press conference in Las Vegas for this stupid thing. Like, come on, man. He's going to bring so much attention to this situation. They're going to make a ton of money. It's not going to matter at all. I'm not a fan of filler feuds, okay? Don't get me wrong. We have to deal with this for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
All right? That's my biggest problem with this, that the show's not tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I wish the show was just tomorrow. but it's not. We have to deal with it for 7 weeks. That's going to suck. However, it's so not of consequence. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Who else do you want to feed to Roman, you know what I mean, at a nothing pay-per-view? So why not the guy who's only there every now and again is going to bring big attention, and we'll just have some fun with it, man. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And is Logan going to give him a good match? Probably. You know what I'm saying? So what else do you want? And for those that are like, oh, these outside guys pay main event shows, can I interest you in WrestleMania 1, where Mr. T was in the friggin' main event against Roddy Piper and Mr. What? Like, come on, dog.
You may not.
Talking about?
It almost blew it. It almost blew it.
Almost. Yeah. Piper once told me he thought about murdering him in that match. Legit. It's a whole nother story. I'll tell you later.
Aaron, what do you think about this? Does it excite you as a fan of Logan Paul, as a guy who follows all of him on the social media?
Follow him. I don't know where you're getting this, but my burner account, Aaron World Order, has the same question I do. Is Logan Paul big in Saudi Arabia?
It's a good question, but it's a good way to get big. It's a good way to get big.
Well, I watched. Here I'm contradicting myself. I did watch Roman on Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast.
Oh,
and they seem to get along pretty well.
Yeah,
like it was cool to see Roman like open up a little bit. So if you haven't checked that out, probably check that out.
Nice
It wouldn't surprise me if Roman like went to Triple H or something, or they got into a talk and was like, "Hey, man, like I kind of like this guy. Like maybe we should try to do something, like make some money here." Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. One of my good friends was so pissed off. He was texting me about this, like, this is the dumbest fucking thing. Oh my God. Right. Just when they kick Vince out, they do some Vince bullshit. It's like, dude, money. It's all about the money. That's what it's all about. This is big money. However, this better go something like this. Ding, ding. Roman goes for Logan Paul. Logan Paul avoids him, turns around, spear, done. It better be something quick.
Really?
Yeah, and because there's no person on this earth in a believable fight that thinks that Logan Paul could beat Roman Reigns in a believable fight.
Okay, you're about to sell me Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey in an Extreme Rules match, and you're going to tell me that I can't suspend my disbelief enough to believe Logan Paul can stay in a match with Roman Reigns. I think this is going to be a 20 to 25 minute match. That's my honest belief.
Crazy.
I know. I've been accused of being crazy before. It's nothing new. So I think it's really smart business. Whatever the marks think about wrestling, or the lovers of professional wrestling think about it, this is a fucking business. And Logan Paul brings butts in seats, puts eyes on your product. They would not have signed him to a contract like they did and make a huge deal out of it if they didn't think this guy was really, there's a lot of money potential with this guy. And certainly he's come out and he's had the right attitude. He has been one of these, people that's like Snooki that flies in and does a match and flies on out. He has committed himself. He's been down there like Bad Bunny. He's done the time, done the work, and then delivered a couple of damn good matches. Are they great? No, but I would take him over fucking Pat McAfee any day of the week. I'd rather see him than McAfee in a ring any day of the week. And they're trying to kiss McAfee's ass all the way up the chart. So to me, that makes more. Logan Paul versus Reigns makes a lot of sense. He's not a small guy. And certainly people have doubted Logan Paul, and he walks into boxing rings and makes believers out of doubters. Whether you think they're fixed or not, it's a whole other conversation, but he holds his own. So having him go to Saudi Arabia, and this is a great storyline, because Roman you play the storyline that Roman thinks he's going to squash him and then can't. And then it becomes a really interesting emotional, mental journey that kind of gets Logan over and Roman over, because it's a brand new challenge where everything he's doing is not working. And somehow he's just so goddamn frustrated, and the bloodline gets involved, and Logan has people on his side who are going to get involved. So there's a lot that could happen here that could be a lot of fun for the WWE, and a lot of people are going to be proved wrong by the end of that match. I just have a feeling. I've stopped doubting the Paul brothers because they fucking come through almost all the time against all the doubters, against all the pressure, against all the hate, and there's a lot of it out there. They come out. The problem, I think, though, is that when we saw on SmackDown, the fans don't like Paul in terms of they want to see him as a heel. So they like booing him. So they were booing him. When he punched Sami Zayn, they booed him. And so to have him going against Reigns seeming like a face, it doesn't make sense. So the 7 weeks that Chris is talking about, they're going to have to work really hard to turn Logan Paul into a face in this matchup with Roman Reigns, because a lot of people are going to be cheering for Reigns over Logan Paul because he's a natural heel and the stuff in his past. He's not a really nice guy to fucking be supporting. So, yeah, so we'll see. But I think it's very smart from the WWE to do this. And you're right, Chris. It's Crown Jewel. It doesn't mean anything. It's fun to play. Are there significant things that happen? Yes. Women wrestling. Yes. The controversy around it. Yes. But title changes and things that really kind of affect the overall WWE universe is really rare. Things like Goldberg fucking up, that carries over. But like other stuff, doesn't really. So why not have some fun with this and see what you can do?
I mean, yeah, 100%. And then two things. Logan Paul is a big mofo. Like, I'm seeing him in person. First of all, he was mad taller than most of the dudes in the ring. And I was like, oh, that visual in and of itself, like, helps you believe what's going on. Also, they're just repeating. Well, they're first of all, they're doing the Sandlot thing where it's like all it needs to do is win one time.
Right, the lucky punch.
And then the other thing they're doing is they're just redoing his fight against Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather, the greatest fighter of all time. Right. Like, I'm gonna knock this fool out in 28 seconds. Can't knock him out.
Yeah, and
that's exactly what they're gonna do with Roman. Where it's like, son, you're not even in my league. You don't belong in here. I'm gonna murder you. And look at Paul Heyman hyping it up, giving Logan his props, and then saying to him, but you shouldn't take this fight. Right. He's going to kill you. Yeah. That's a great story. He's going to sell it perfectly. It's going to be fantastic.
Both him and Heyman know how to sell a thing. So to me, you've got two master promoters doing the work. Reigns is going to be happy to sit in the backseat on this one and let those two do all the work. And he shows up and delivers a damn good match. So, Aaron, any second thoughts on this?
Who's shilling now, boys?
WWE.
Stand for WWE.
Wait, let me check my bank account real quick.
Oh,
they sent me something.
Damn it.
But yeah, of course, Dave Langer's right. Mayweather was just playing with him. If May wanted to water, he could have had one round. Maybe. Again, maybe. It could have been. Again, it's an older Mayweather who had not been boxing for quite some time. Logan Paul had been training for quite some time. And so maybe there was just like, he couldn't knock him out. And so maybe he did carry him like they accused him of carrying McGregor. The man made money. That's what Mayweather's all about. So, in a way, it kind of helps him. And again, if you say that's fixed, well, professional wrestling is essentially fixed. So it's no big deal. They're going to find a way to put him over and put Reigns over. It just makes sense. And his brother's going to be there. You fucking know his brother's going to be there.
If Anderson Silva doesn't knock him out, Cole.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We're on iHeartRadio now, so I have to take breaks between some segments here to help me do the audio. So let's take a quick break by promoting this right here. Go and buy it on ProWrestlingTees.com. All right, we're back, Aaron. Where shall we go? What's next?
We're going to Monday Night Raw. I will read the results and we'll go over it. Seth Rollins gets in a brawl with Riddle to start the show again, leading to Judgment Day coming out and kind of attacking Riddle, at least allowing Seth to get away. And that set up a match between Finn Balor and Riddle, with Finn Balor getting the victory there, and then Riddle laughing, or Seth Rollins laughing at Riddle in the end. Damage Control defeated Raquel and Aaliyah to win the Women's Tag Team Championships. Johnny Gargano defeated Chad Gable. Kevin Owens cuts an amazing promo on Austin Theory. Just amazing stuff. Bianca Belair defeated Sonya Deville in an open challenge to retain her Raw Women's Championship. Omos beat up a couple of local talent. And then Edge defeated Dominic Mysterio by DQ when the Judgment Day got involved. And then the Judgment Day proceeded to beat down Edge, and Dominic hit Edge with Edge's trademark concerto. So that was Monday Night Raw.
Chris, thoughts?
So usually I gush all over everything that Triple H has done up to this point creatively.
Oh boy, here we go.
Couple missteps, I feel like. Well, let me just get into it. All right, so first of all, I'm at least glad that Judgment Day is doing something else. As far as getting involved with Riddle, it's like okay, we got the Dominic turn, great, okay, like, all right, we need to move into the next phase of this thing, but it's a lot of sameness in this Judgment Day storyline of like a promo, you guys are evil, yeah, we're evil, all right, and then a match happens and they beat down everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, first of all, and I thought about this with Damage Control while I was at SmackDown. Heels need to do heel things.
Yes.
Not just beat people up at the end of segments. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should do something dastardly that makes me want to boo them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need, like, just because you talk shit to the audience, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not enough anymore in 2022. In fact, it never was enough.
Right.
Okay? Ric Flair, when he was a heel, you know, made you hate him because he would get his ass beat by the baby faces and then squeak by at the end. And you hated that about him because he was the rich playboy talking all this shit and he was clearly not better than the baby face but would win.
Right.
Modern heels, a lot of them don't give you a reason. At least MJF always gives you a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said something that was way too personal. He did something that was way too, you know what I mean? Like, beyond the pale. And they need Judgment Day to do something like that. It's like, what's the big deal? Like, Dominic, you can't join Judgment Day. Why? You know what I mean? Like, why? Why are they so bad? They you know, okay, they're kind of dark and emo. Dominic seems that way. So let him have some friends, Dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? If that was the storyline, that Ray doesn't like these emo kids that his son's hanging out with, that's so much funnier than whatever's happening now. Yeah. So come on, we need to switch it up a little bit. And then also, Edge was just written off TV a couple months ago, wasn't he?
I know. God, yeah.
Like, all right, I guess he's gone again. You know what I mean? Like, The other thing I didn't like about Raw, but it was a necessary thing, so I'm kind of half and half actually, was Dakota Kai and Io Sky winning the Women's Tag Team Championships. What the hell was the point of Raquel and Aaliyah winning them if we were going to do this a couple weeks later? But I think probably what it is, and while I will give credit, was maybe a course correction, because in the old regime, if something wasn't working, they would just keep it going. They would just keep it going until the fans just had enough. Like, oh my God, this isn't working. Stop doing it. I think like Triple H,
general manager.
Exactly. I think Triple H just being like, oh shit, that ain't working. Let's just do something else. You know what I mean? And just fixing it. Like, they're not gonna like this, but whatever. I'm gonna just fix it. Yeah. And I can't be mad at that entirely. You know what I mean? So I just, next time, a little more foresight, you know, perhaps. Other than that, I mean, Johnny Gargano and Chad having a PWG match in the middle of Raw, like, that was an absolute banger. We got to start giving Gable some wins, though. Gable is fantastic. He is fantastic. But good win for Gargano on TV, and then was put over in the next segment where Kevin Owens kept bringing up Gargano. I said it in our group chat, go out of your way to watch this Kevin Owens promo. I want to get into a larger discussion with you guys, so I'll skip that for now.
Okay.
Bianca Belair, Sonya Deville was kind of what you think it would be. You know, Omos. Again, hoping all this giant shit is going somewhere. You know what I mean? You think Triple H would have a plan, so I'm being optimistic that it's going somewhere.
I think it's going to Strowman, but maybe
that's what I would think. That's what I would think. So we'll see what happens. And then then the finale, like I said, it's all right. Yeah, Judgment Day is going to end the show with a beatdown. That just kind of is what it's been for weeks. Yeah, I don't get why they're so bad. I'm sort of having sympathy for the devil here, I guess, when it comes to them, but it's just like I don't get why they're so evil. So it is what it is. But yeah, decent episode of Raw.
Raw was like one of those movies or TV shows that you watch and you're looking forward to it, and the highs were really high, but the lows were really low.
Like
and so That's how it felt like when I was watching, and kind of like She-Hulk. Yeah, that's what I was feeling as I was watching the show. I mean, the Rollins Riddle stuff was fucking great. Rollins coming in and foot stomping him after Riddle had already lost to Balor was great. It adds more, and him saying, like, we're done. It's over. Cut it out. It's a great way to get Riddle over even more, get the fans excited to see them getting back in the ring more. It's just genius the way it's all playing out. And Riddle is taking the losses to help with promoting this thing, the frustration, having to come from behind, having to be the underdog. All of that is being laid out so well. So the stuff that's working, I think Triple H is making it work so well that he deserves his flowers for it. But the other stuff, yeah, like damage control, that probably makes sense making the adjustment because Raquel and Aaliyah, people were super surprised they won. And clearly it didn't have the effect that I think maybe the WWE was hoping it would have, or if Triple H was hoping it would have. Let's see if it gets Raquel over even more. Let's see if it gets Aaliyah even more. But there's such a weird combo with her constantly trying to almost make out with Raquel. It's just weird. It's just weird. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course, but it's just weird, and it doesn't seem to make sense. And so in the end, I don't think they've got the personalities combined to get over. So Triple H made the move here. And I don't think Dakota Kai and Io Shirai are that much more over than those two, but why not? Let them run with the belts, see what happens. I'm not bowled over by damage control. It really does nothing for me because I think those ladies are notches below Bayley, and it isn't quite as strong of a presence as I was hoping because it was different with Paige. Paige wasn't wrestling. It was different with Mandy and Sonya because they're notches below Paige. So to me, it was fine. But Bayley can wrestle. Bayley is wrestling. So it's just different. And I think she needs people on her level to really be this intimidating force. The NWO worked because Hall, Nash, and Hogan could all go all day and all night. So to me, that's what you need to have if you're really going to get something over. But smart move. I agree with you. Gargano and Gable, that was an awesome fucking match. An awesome match. The way it all worked out. And you're right. I've been saying this, that the Alpha Academy was taking too many losses. Now Gable is taking these losses. And I hope this is a Becky Lynch situation where, like, eventually the knob turns and we're seeing the ascension of Gable because we're seeing the ascension of Ricochet, which they had essentially buried for quite some time. Then Triple H comes in, gives him some more opportunities, and it's working out really well. Let's see how Gable, eventually when they make the turn, how good that's going to go, because he also works that shush thing so well, just so well. And they both got absolutely destroyed by Strowman. That being said, I know we're going to get to SmackDown. Otis versus Strowman excites me a lot now. I like the idea of a big dude versus a bigger, sort of little more muscular dude. I like the idea because they're both obviously can throw people around the ring. The Bianca Belair, Sonya Deville, that's fine. The Kevin Owens thing, that was a great promo. You're absolutely right. Don't know if I agree with you with the promo you compared it to, Chris. But that being said, I enjoyed the hell out of this promo, and it ventured into that reality place. You know, even Austin Theory was turning his face away, and Owens was smacking him in the chest, like to get him to look at him because he's trying to tell him the fucking truth. So in a way, it's almost like a tough love older brother who is telling you what you need to do to get to that next level because you've been riding high on your looks or on your pretty physique, but you haven't been delivering these memorable matches. And Owens is saying to him, in essence, you want to be Cena? You want to be Reigns? You want to really take him on? You've got to go to the next level. And so I love that. And, Theory played his heel thing about, nobody's going to look like me. None of y'all look like me. Fine. And the breaking up of them fighting, all of that really worked. Almost whatever with that. I hope we're leading to that situation. But yeah, Judgment Day, again, it feels like Triple H, he's been handed the Judgment Day thing. He's trying to make it work. I don't think we're all of a sudden going to see Dominic be an incredible wrestler out of nowhere. He's still Dominic. So they're kind of protecting him. But I do think it's funny that he does a whole promo where I don't want you telling me what to do anymore, Dad. I'm going to do what I want to do. And then Rhea is whispering in his ear what to do. So it's a way of undercutting the promo. I want him to be more whiny. I want him to be more emotional. I want him to get to that level where we start to hate him for being this way. So it becomes that he's a fucking Brian Pillman wild card. Like, you don't know what Dominic is going to do. And I think too much right now of Dominic is everyone telling him what to do. So maybe they're heading to that point where Dominic breaks away from Ray and Judgment Day and becomes this fucking crazy X Factor wild card And that could be something they could play out down the road. But for right now, it isn't really working 100% for me, and neither is the Judgment Day. But I think Triple H is trying to make it work as much as possible. And yeah, it's sad to see Edge heading out. What about you, Aaron? Thoughts on Raw, and then we'll have a larger discussion on the Kevin Owens thing.
Well, someone in the chat, I think it might have been Zeno Hour, was trolling me saying that Finn Balor with a scarf is a goat. You know I hate that outfit. You know I hate it. Stop it.
Yeah,
stop that. I like small trunks Finn Balor. Thank you very much. Damage control, we got where we needed to go. Yeah. Kevin Owens we'll talk about later. Good to see Johnny Gargano hitting the one final beat. I have a note about Alpha Academy. I think they need to add somebody else. And
really? Okay.
Yeah, because Chad's great. Like, he's great. Otis can be good at times, and Chad's a good mouthpiece. But I think they need somebody else.
Yeah.
I would add, because he's not doing anything else, he's still on the roster, I throw Shelton Benjamin in there. A shooter, someone that has history with Gable, not necessarily great on the mic, but fuck, man, he can have some great matches. You can change it up rather than Otis and Gable getting the crap beat out of him. Let Shelton Benjamin come in there and have some banger matches with, like, you know, Riddle and Rollins and all these people. Let it happen, man.
If Angle wasn't half a beat slow or a beat slow in terms of how he showed up the other night, I think Angle would be an awesome guy to bring in as a manager to get them to the next level, like a Olympic training manager. You could have vignettes where he's on the mat yelling at them like Bella Caroli and the fucking gymnastic stuff. It would be great.
Yeah. Why not do pre-produced ones of that so that he doesn't have to perform live anymore?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
could do that. I just think it needs a little boost, like the shoosh and the oh thank you, like that's fine. But eventually people are gonna be like, okay, all right, we get it. So that's when you need to kind of boost it up. And why not show a shooter? Some people in the chat saying that he's injured. So okay, I got that. But
Ziggler, he's a shooter.
Oh, Ziggler would be great.
I don't think Ziggler would do it. I don't think he'd fit.
He's great on the mic. Yeah, maybe.
Ziggler.
What about Rude? Where's Rude at?
More to come on Rude. But the stuff with Dominic, like I said last week, you're Edge, and you come back, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna put you in the main event of WrestleMania. Now you're gonna feud with Dominic Mysterio. It's like not even Ray. Like I get Dominic. Like what the fuck? This has been, and I'm not the biggest Edge fan in the world, but I promise I'm not dumping on him. But it's like this has been a really bad second run for Edge. Like he got hurt.
The most recent one that he came back. You're talking about?
He got hurt almost immediately after that match with Randy Orton. Yeah, he was gone for like 6 months. Comes back, does the deal with Roman and Danielson, doesn't win. Right. And then it's like, you can't really do anything with him if he didn't win.
Yeah.
And then we got the Judgment Day thing, which was cool. But then Edge himself was like, this isn't what I wanted it to be. And then it just kind of spirals into this thing that's really boring. And I don't really, I feel bad for Edge, but this has been a shitty run. Like it's not been good at all. And I think that's probably why he's winding it down. Because even he can see like, this isn't what I wanted. So I think that sucks, but I'm ready for the Judgment Day to move on too. The stuff with Riddle's good. I'm glad they moved on to somebody else. I would like to see. We keep seeing people go to both shows, like Alpha Academy is on both shows and stuff. I want to see the Judgment Day go to both shows. Like I want to see him go to NXT. I want to see him beat up some people. Like be a menace if you're going to be a menace.
Right. Judgment Day versus New Day, that could be a lot of fun. The day versus
Battle of the Days.
Exactly.
But it's like the Riot Squad, right? Like they were called the Riot Squad, and it's like, oh my god, like they're gonna cause some mayhem. They kick over a plant or something. It's like, ha ha ha! It's like, oh, we're terrible people. It's like, no, it's not it.
Snicker.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what they would have them do, though. But yeah, I mean, that's what the Judgment Day kind of feels like. It's like we're these real menacing people. Well, what do? Well, we wear eyeliner and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Emo kids. Yeah, maybe that could play the emo thing. I mean, that would be so funny, Chris, if that's the turn. He's like, I just don't want you hanging out with these emo kids. And it becomes a whole.
They smoke cigarettes and don't go to class. You know what I mean? Like
they're nihilists, Dominic. They're nihilists. Oh man, maybe. I mean, I agree with you, Aaron. I think that's a great suggestion. Like the Alpha Academy needs someone. Could even be a valet. I mean, I know we don't do valets anymore, except if you're on fucking AEW, but it's certainly possible. Somebody, you know, can you imagine Stacy Keibler coming back to kind of manage these two? That could be a lot of fun. We haven't seen her in forever. There's just something. There's got to be something out there that they can do to change the narrative with Alpha Academy. And it may be that they've got it in plan and they're waiting until the moment hits, and then boom, they bring this person, and then you see the ascension of Alpha Academy as well. Because remember, they're tag team champions. So it's certainly possible for them to get back in the mix.
Good to mention here that Stacy Keibler did recently sign a Legends deal. So,
wow, I didn't even know that.
Not impossible.
Just a suggestion. All right, let's talk about this Owens promo. Who do you want to lead this one here, Chris? Thoughts on it? You want to get a larger discussion on it?
Yeah. So, I mean, man, as we've talked about at length, you know, it's like promos. There needs to be something honest that, you know, at least an honest place you're coming from when doing a promo.
Yeah.
Even when it's scripted. And I don't think that any of what he said was scripted. I think they probably gave him some bullet points maybe, and he did his thing. It's just like every single criticism, every single nitpick, every single just BS reason that's been brought forward as to why certain people can't succeed in WWE. And we're not talking about in the last few months, last year, last decades of the wrestling business. So-and-so's too small. So-and-so doesn't look like this. So-and-so isn't a bodybuilder. So-and-so isn't a what. Kevin Owens took all of that and threw it right on its head in a most succinct, articulate way that I think I've ever seen any wrestler do. Period. We've all, made our cases as to why certain people should be able to get to the glass ceiling and shatter through it. Yeah. But he just said it. I mean, he said it in the right way. Like, I never even considered no, different is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, as simple as that sounds, different is always good. This cookie cutter image of what a pro wrestler is, yoked up and thin and tan and hair and this, that, and the other. You need people like me. You know what I'm saying? He Tony Montana did. You need people like me. You know what I'm saying? Different body types, different styles, you have to. Variety is what makes this thing work. If everyone is a Hulk Hogan, then what the hell is a Mick Foley? You know what I'm saying? What the hell is a Jake Roberts? What the hell is even a Shawn Michaels for his time, who was considered a little guy, and he's much bigger than a lot of the wrestlers that wrestle now. Like, you don't get those personalities if everything has to come out of the same factory mold as far as pro wrestling is concerned. And just the way Kevin attacked it with as much passion as he always puts into his promos. And like you said, not even it wasn't even done in an antagonistic way, like you said, John. It was very much like, no. I want you to succeed. Right. But you gotta get rid of this bullshit. Saying it without saying it. Vince McMahon's way of doing things is done, and you're a product of his way of doing things. So if you want to exist and succeed in this WWE, you better show and prove.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The kind of
passion.
Yeah, the passion. And then once again, as we spoke about last week, this idea of veering or blurring the lines between reality and fiction, right? And where we see it go busto with CM Punk and Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks, we're seeing it completely differently here. I'm sure this was all talked about between Theory and the KO and what KO was going to say and Theory's reaction to it. And they probably said, Theory, react to it as you would react to it. And having him turn his face away, having him not look at Kevin Owens made Kevin even more passionate, more angry, more frustrated, because there's nothing that frustrates a father or an older brother more than trying to get through to the young son or the younger brother about the shit that they're messing up on, so that they can do better, because they say they want all this stuff, but they don't want to work for it. And it's a clash of mentality, right? It's in my day, we worked for it. Well, in my day, I just take a bunch of pictures on social media and I get there, and so there's the battle between what works and what doesn't work, and what's going to get you over with the fans longevity wise,
Yeah, I mean, it is just one of those things. Like Paul Heyman talked about it once, and he said, when you're doing these promos, the thing is, like, you can cut a promo, you can, say what you want, but it's really hard to cut a promo and then somebody look at it and go, it's different. That's different. That's somebody I need to look at. And I think that was a moment for Kevin Owens. Yeah, he's been the world champion. Yeah, he's been like the MVP for a good bit of time in WWE, doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
But I think this is the first time where he really this is like where he's really putting himself on notice, right? Like the Miz did it a couple years ago when he cut that promo on Bryan Danielson.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All in, and it's like, yeah, the Miz has been world champion, but that is some epic stuff.
Yeah,
that the Miz just did. So Kevin is like the kind of guy that I should be like tooting to the moon, because he's a bigger guy like myself, and he does great work in the ring. I don't think anyone's, at least in WWE, has a bad word to say about him. I'm sure Cornette does, but everything that Kevin Owens does has been gold. It doesn't surprise me that he pulls something out like this. And someone in the chat said it. It not only did it get Kevin Owens to go to another level, but it got Theory to go to another level too.
Yeah.
So, and that's important. You don't want to bury the guy, and I think Kevin Owens did a great job of the balance there.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, we lost Chris. Obviously, having some internet issues. He will be back as soon as he can. So, but yeah, I mean, this is. I think you're right, Aaron. We all know it when we see it, right? We've been around the business long enough. We've watched the business long enough. We know those epic promos when we see them, right? And they matter, and they make a difference. People like Flair and Hogan and The Rock, they just deliver them, and Stone Cold, those are just second nature. But every once in a while, you get those ones like Dusty's, like this, like a few other promos we could probably name. The Pipe Bomb promo, it just kind of changes things. And so this feels like Kevin Owens was speaking for Triple H and everybody, who sympathizes with Triple H about what's going on and what's changed in the WWE now because Triple H is in charge. And in a way, speaking to the fans as well, kind of in a bit of a subtle way, speaking to the fans like, hey, things have really changed. The fact that I can come out and do this promo and essentially, in a way, kind of shit on the way Vince has been doing things for a long time. I'm doing this with Triple H's approval. So that lets you know that there is a sea change here in the company, and we're not going back. As long as I'm in charge, we're not going back. So I think Kevin Owens, who seems to be a Triple H guy because they re-signed him and all of that, I think it's very clear what they want Kevin Owens to be going forward, and he's going to get all kinds of opportunities because of the stuff that he's doing like this. So yeah. Great stuff. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll jump into our next thing here right after this. All right, what do we got here, Aaron? What's our next thing?
Well, I think you actually missed a super chat.
Oh, I did. Sorry. Let's jump into those then. I apologize. Let's hit some super chats and Streamlabs that have come through. Empire Fan 1980 said, I'd Logan Paul beat Roman. If Logan Paul beats Roman, I'm going to be mad, says Empire Fan 1980. He won't beat Roman. And if he does, it won't necessarily. Well, I guess they'll do it. It might be a DQ if he beats Roman or something like that.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, he ain't beating Roman.
Good point. All right, let's hit these Streamlabs here as well. Delisha_Renee. What's up, Delisha? Good to see you. Love her. She says, been watching some of the NXT matches during 2020, and it got me thinking, what's a storyline you wish you could have seen played out? For me, it's the tag reign of the Broserweights and Balor versus Walter. Oh, what could have been.
In NXT wise, I mean, man, I would have loved to seen more of Undisputed Era versus Imperium. I think that would have been so awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that I would have liked to see more of AOP. Like, I thought AOP was great. Authors of Pain, that's what I'm talking about. I thought they were great. I would love to see them do more stuff. I wish they would have done more stuff with Paul Ellering, because that's a guy that's a legend.
Yeah.
He didn't do a lot with him. So, yeah, I'd probably say that.
Okay. You got anything, Chris, that leaps to mind in your eyes?
Damn, Aaron took my answer. That was the one, the Undisputed Era versus Imperium. I wanted that injected into my veins on a regular basis. So I'll just go with the feud that they should give us for science, which is Priscilla Kelly, Gigi Dolan versus Nikita Lyons. We need it
for science.
Yeah, just science purposes. Yeah, I agree with the Imperium. I think that would have been fun. If they could have made the 4 horsemen versus the 4 horsewomen work, the 4 horsewomen versus
never would have worked.
That would have been, but I mean, of course, they weren't Marina Shafir and what's the other girl, Paige or whatever his name? What's her other name? The other
Jessamine Duke.
Jessamine Duke. Yeah. If they had been able to reach any semblance of decent wrestling ability, or good wrestling ability rather, it would have been fun to see that storyline play out there in NXT. But yeah, or more with Adam Cole, baby, versus Velveteen Dream. And I know Velveteen Dream's got his issues now and unceremoniously dumped out, but I loved him in 2020, and so it would have been fun to see more from him play out the way it did, and maybe put the strap on him and seeing what that run could have been like. So yeah, I guess those would be my answers right off the bat. And shout out to you to watch an old NXT, because that might be coming up on the show in a little bit. Justin Toner says, hi guys, was happy that Damage Control, Dakota and EO won the women's tag titles. Hope they get a good run with them. KO's promo on Theory was fire. Gargano versus Gable was great. Not into Judgment Day. Excited for Lashley versus Seth next week or the U.S. title. Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Lashley and Seth for the U.S. title.
I mean, give it to me now. Yum, 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 yum. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because like I said, as we still are fair in talking about these shows and talking about things that don't work and fall flat, one byproduct that is happening under the Triple H era, people are getting super over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Seth is super over. Yeah. So is Lashley. So is Sami Zayn. Well, I'll talk about that when we get to SmackDown. Yeah. But people are like really, really over. Not like getting over despite bad booking, but like, no, the good booking plus good matches equaling legitimate emotion from the crowd. And so these are two guys on two different sides of the coin who are super over and going at it on a Monday Night Raw for a mid-card title. That is exactly what's needed to happen for a long time.
Does Riddle interfere? It seems like it's set up for Riddle to interfere, right? It's gonna be a straight up match. So yeah,
you got to protect them both. That's the big problem with doing two over guys on a television match.
Right.
You can't have really a definitive winner. It messes. It hurts. So
yeah. That's true. All right. Let's see what the next one is here. Do you have any thoughts on that, Aaron? Any thoughts on Rollins, Al Lashley?
Should be great. Love Bobby Lashley. I know I've been calling him Big Match Bob, and people don't understand why, but every time Bobby Lashley has a match, it's a fucking big deal now. So I'm into it. It's Big Match Bob.
He had a dark match against Austin Theory after SmackDown last night, and it was pretty banging.
Wow. Last Cinema Sailor, what's up? Good to see you. Says, aloha, gents. I sent my WrestleMania album via IG. I was meaning to do that ever since those amazing days in Arlington. I hope that you all enjoy it. Aaron, major props for the Joe Bob Briggs photo on your wall. Well, not anymore, but certainly there was. Oh, there it is. Okay, shout out. And Orlando Rego is in here with a super chat as well. He says, I have enjoyed some things from NXT 2.0. Thoughts on NXT now going to Black and Gold. Should we put a pin on that one, Aaron, or should we jump into that?
Let's just do it. Do it, okay. Man. Pull it up, John.
They tell me to do these things, and I try to do them as quickly as I can. Aaron Turner sent me a tweet that has been going around here that was officially tweeted, and certainly there are more changes by Triple H here, going from the NXT 2.0. This is on the official WWE NXT Twitter, and they literally changing to the Black and Gold. So nothing makes it very clear that Triple H is in charge more than this GIF. So Aaron, take it away. What do you think about this, man?
Hold on.
Okay. No, I think what you're trying to do is.
You can't touch this.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, don't get us in trouble.
No copyright strikes. But anyway, oh man.
Yeah.
Yes. There
you go.
Yes.
You go. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead. Make it happen.
You want to talk about getting people hyped for NXT again? Let's take it back to basics, man. Because they talked, that whole show was like, it's the year anniversary of NXT 2.0. Nobody fucking cared. And then at the end of the show, Shawn Michaels like did this thing, and he was talking about how great NXT was and like is and all this kind of stuff, and what it's used for. And then boom, it's not NXT. We are NXT. We are not NXT 2.0. So here we go. I've been told that they're going to make some changes to the look of NXT. There is no word yet if they're going back to Full Sail, but I think that would be incredible if they went back to Full Sail. Not that I haven't loved some of the stuff that NXT 2.0 has done. Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Nikita Lyons, Mandy, of course. But
talent is always going to be there. It's about the presentation and this multicolored spray painting weird ass shit they were doing with 2.0. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
It's a promise of greater things. I'll put it right there. It's a promise of greater things because you're still gonna have the same talent,
right?
You're still gonna have the same people. So I'm ready. They did tape next week's show, and I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but some stuff. So
okay. All right.
The main event for Halloween Havoc is set. So there you go.
Chris, what do you think about this change that they're doing here for NXT to make it NXT Black and Gold again?
It's the right call. I mean, how many years are you going to run with a branding that's 2.0? You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. Eventually, it was going to just be NXT again anyway. And now, again, I enjoy these declarative statements by creative management, Triple H, whoever, of a change in ethos in these brands and promotions, right?
Yeah.
It's what he's saying is, okay, we tried this. It didn't work out the way we wanted it to. So look at the logo. It's the fonts from NXT 2.0.
Right.
With the black and gold colors. So philosophically, we're going to take some things that worked here and some things that worked in the past. We're going to merge them together into something new, something fresh, and something familiar. So, and you're starting to see the response all over the internet, especially from former NXT wrestlers that were let go. Yeah. Oni Lorcan is one that comes to mind immediately, where it's like, what was great about NXT Black and Gold originally was the mixture of new talent with established indie talent.
Yeah.
To create this melting pot of like, here's some guys who've been in the trenches that can tell you how to do this thing as you're training to eventually hopefully one day make it to the main roster. And that mix created a product that was so diametrically different than Raw and SmackDown that it had no choice but to become a real third brand. And it's exactly what we were talking about in the Kevin Owens promo segment. Different is what makes things great. You know what I'm saying? Raw should have its own look and feel. SmackDown should have its own look and feel. NXT should have its own look and feel. That way, we all know you can't please everybody with the product that you make. But this way, now there's something for everybody. You didn't like the main roster sports entertainment approach? Oh, I can go watch NXT every Tuesday, and it's just wrestling. You know what I mean? It's just straight up wrestling. You don't really like the wrestling. You want the storylines and the characters and stuff that you can watch Raw and SmackDown. WWE, this is the way to do it. When they tried to make NXT another program that was about, larger than life characters and blah, 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 sports entertainment, that was the wrong move. And so dial it back. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I love this change. I think it gets me back excited. Now I might start watching NXT a little more consistently to see, because if the changes we're going to have, like, for lack of a better term, rawer matches, more hardcore in terms of the approach and the attitude, more of the broken glass and barbed wire type matches, the shit that really got you to love NXT as a nice change of pace from Raw and SmackDown. That's going to be great to see. Plus, Triple H clearly having the right people in charge to be on board with this. I wonder what Nick Khan's thoughts on all of this are, because I mean, this is so many people giving credit to Triple H for this, but Nick was involved with all this stuff that Vince was doing in the past. So has this been Nick's kind of plan all along in a way? A lot of people think he's the one that leaked that kind of stuff. So I wonder if maybe this has been, he took a look at this business wise and was like, no, we need to go back to this. And it's been a slow, a big picture build to get to this moment. And he's just happy to see it all happening. I wonder, because Triple H seems to be putting in everything in place that people have been wanting for him to do, and he's doing it, and it seems very organically what he wants to do, and he's not rushing it, right? I think that's a great thing about Triple H. He is taking his time, slowly making the changes. It does not have to be all at once, so the fans get used to one change. Great. Get used to another week. Okay, cool. Here's a new change. All right, wait another week. Here's a new change. So it seems to be working out, and so now I'm excited to see what we're going to get, and don't be surprised if we see Adam Cole come back at some point. I have a feeling, depending on how things go in AEW, I have a feeling that Adam would be treated like a king if he was to come back to NXT. So just throwing it out there. All right. You don't think so?
See you in 5 years, I guess.
You never know.
Baby.
You never know, baby. All right. Well, let's hit some of these super chats that have come through from a number of people. K-Dog, what's up, K-Dog? He says, just watching NXT invade SmackDown and Raw. Goodness, what was Vince thinking? To me, he messed up by not capitalizing on all that talent. Well, wasn't the invasion done because of the people were like injured or were caught on the plane or something? Wasn't that
stuck
kind
in Saudi?
Yeah,
they were trying to set up Survivor Series as well. So
yeah.
But how you don't capitalize on the thunderous ovation that Keith Lee got in the Royal Rumble when it was him and Brock? Like, how do you not capitalize on that? Like, that's a star-making moment for Keith Lee, and this just got pissed away.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, let's make him fucking Bearcat Keith Lee. Fuck.
Black Cinema Critic, what's up? Good to see you, brother. He says, sorry I'm late. Love to see you guys. Do you think the booking in AEW will be Tony's downfall? And just because NXT is back to the OG colors doesn't mean it will be the same. P.S. Get Ring of Honor off AEW television, please. Gentlemen, thoughts on he's got two of these, so thoughts on this particular one. Will the booking be Tony's downfall? Is he right to be cautiously optimistic about the NXT change? And should Ring of Honor be off AEW television?
Yeah, jumping in. 100%. If Tony does not do what we've all, armchair quarterbacked several times, use your personnel. Yeah. Don't just use Jericho and Danielson to be your locker room leaders. Use your guys you got to help with creative, dude. Yeah. Like, you've run a television show for 3 years with no television production experience. I can tell you, as somebody who's not even in behind the scenes in wrestling, that's a terrible idea. Just, if you don't know how to segment things, how to go to breaks properly, how to budget your time, like so many times on AEW, a segment will happen and they'll wrap it up so fast because they have to, because they're running out of time. It's like, that shows that your formatting is not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, just little things like that. So you've done it by the seat of your pants for 3 years. Now it's time to button it up, be professional, use the people you got. You got Regal standing right there.
I know.
Got Danielson standing right there, who was working the SmackDown creative team when he was there in WWE. And his segments were really good. It's like you got people who know how to do this, man. It's like, use them. Yeah. The cautiously optimistic thing about NXT, absolutely. I mean, nothing's guaranteed. Just because it worked in the past doesn't mean that it will work in the future. Right. So I'm with you on that.
Just because Dominic went heel doesn't mean he can all of a sudden wrestle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Stop hating on Dominic, man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm here for it.
I'm not the biggest fan of Edge. Give me a break.
Support fellow Latinos. Come on.
Oh,
they're going there.
Come on now.
Come on now.
It is Hispanic Heritage Month, so I apologize. But anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Hispanic Heritage Month, you son of a gun. What the heck?
Shout out to Bailey, who I realized was a Latino this month. And then as far as getting Ring of Honor off of AEW television, well, I mean, once they get their own thing. You know what I mean? He bought the company. He has to keep it visible for the time being.
Yeah.
Brian Last on Cornette's show actually had a great idea. It was like, you know what, dude? You got Ring of Honor. If there's this massive clash of wrestling ideology in AEW, let the Bucks and the flippy guys and the trampoline dudes, let them do Ring of Honor.
That's true.
And then
there you go.
Let Punk and the other guys who want to take the shit seriously have TBS.
That's not a bad idea.
Why not? I think that's a pretty good fix.
Yeah. Thoughts, Aaron?
It's kind of like with NXT 2.0. Yeah, I think we are overhyping it a bit. That's kind of my own deal because I love NXT. But like, to me, it's that feeling like when you're watching like a baseball game or something, and they come out in the throwback unis, and you're like, yeah, this is awesome. I love that uniform because it gives you all those good feelings. Like when you see the NXT regular logo, it's like, hell yeah, I'm excited about it. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it. We're going to talk about Tony's booking in a minute when we get to AEW Dynamite. My thoughts on it was as long as the talent are okay with what you're booking and they seem fine, you're good. But we're going to talk about that. So. Yeah,
sounds good. Black Simulator also says, I just want people to calm down with the NXT is back because it doesn't have the same talent it used to have back in the day. It doesn't have the same prestige. That type of generational talent will not happen again. Well, no, I mean, everything goes in cycles, and certainly they've got some talent there that they're already enjoying. Certainly Zoe Stark, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes. There's a number of people, and they're trying to get some things over, but you've got to be patient. The change, yes, that's more a matter of an attitude change. This is the level that we're going to be operating at. So if you want to stay employed by this company, this is what we expect of you as representing the black and gold classic approach here with the NXT 2.0 combo. So you're going to have to kind of step it. So in essence, they're announcing this to the wrestlers as well. Like, this is where we're going. So get on board. If you're not on board, you're going to be gone. So you got to be patient. I understand, Black Cinema, you being skeptical, totally respect what a lot of people are. So we'll see how he slowly makes these changes and what matches get delivered. And I think that Worlds Collide thing was kind of a bit of a dry run for what Triple H wants to do down the road with NXT. And I think that's genius. And I love it. So, yeah. So we'll see. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, hit the like button. We got over 100 of you watching us right now. Please hit that like button as we go along. Let's take another quick break, and then we'll jump into some AEW Dynamite right after this. All right, Aaron, AEW Dynamite, take it away.
All right, guys. It started off with Jon Moxley defeating Sammy Guevara to move into the finals of the AEW Grand Slam title tournament next week. Sammy Guevara done. He's putting out some cryptic tweets saying thank you, everybody, and stuff like that. So that's weird.
Really? Okay.
MJF cuts a promo. Then Stokely cuts a promo after that, letting everybody know that his group of job guys is known as the Firm. Jungle Boy defeated Jay Lethal with a snare trap submission. Powerhouse Hobbs defeated a local talent quite quickly. Swerve and Our Glory defeated the Lucha Bros to retain their tag belts in, a banger. Ethan Page kicked Luigi Primo in the backstage area and then challenged Danhausen to a match for Rampage. Miro and other talents were really pissed that this happened. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
Britt Baker and Serena Deeb defeated Athena and Toni Storm in a tag match. Britt went to hit Tony with a chair when Jamie Hayter came out to stop her, and then she whacked Tony with the chair and then just left. Bryan Danielson defeated Chris Jericho to move to the finals of the AEW Grand Slam title tournament. Then after the match, Jon Moxley came down to the ring and they shook hands. So that was AEW Dynamite.
Wow. So here's what I think. First of all, the Moxley Guevara match was fucking good. I did not anticipate that I would enjoy that match, and it was good. Even, having come down with the interference there, Tay Mello, and that's totally, it all worked. It all worked really well, and Moxley delivered yet another damn good match. And Guevara, every time I see him wrestle, you got to remember he's still young. He is so close to making that leap. He is so close. And these matches with Moxley, I love, like that sequence where he is like punching Moxley and Moxley's just fucking taking it and turns it around on him was so great. Those little things that you're going to see. Plus he's strong as shit picking up Moxley the way he did and whatever. So I thought the match was really good. MJF's promo was, once again, I hope to God he talked to Moxley about that. Once again, blurring that line between reality and fiction here, talking about talking about Moxley's alcoholism and where he's from, and him being a character, where MJF is a real guy, cussing up a storm, and introducing Stokely was weird. Although I liked Stokely's promo for sure. Jungle Boy, Jay Lethal. You want to talk about Chad Gable taking losses? Jay Lethal's taking losses like crazy, and he's getting people over. I mean, I thought he out-wrestled Jungle Boy by a mile in this match, and I thought he was better. And it's just a shame that the AEW doesn't necessarily see Jay Lethal as someone to be carrying the belt or elevating higher in their roster. Powerhouse Hobbs, no surprise. Swerve and Argora and Lucha Bros was good. Dude, they're probably going to lose to the Acclaimed, but Jesus Christ, they've been delivering some damn good matches. And so we'll see what they make the decision to be next week. But Lucha Bros, man, Penta fucking doing that destroyer on Keith Lee. Never in my goddamn life did I ever think I would see something like that. And it was insane what he did. And of course, Keith turning it around, getting the victory. Ethan Page, yeah, whatever with that. And Britt Baker, Suna Deeb, and Athena Toni Storm. If I can hear the people talking to each other during a match, that tells you how dead the crowd is for a match, okay? This crowd was dead. Nobody stood up. Nobody got up. Nothing. It was crazy. But having Jamie Hayter run in, it was just absolutely gorgeous. Ripping that steel chair off and then hitting Tony and then having words with Jamie Britt Baker lets you know that they're setting her up for the Ascension. So that's going to be so much fun to see. And Danielson and Jericho was awesome. I mean, just an awesome match. You talk about Gable and Gargano. This match had shades of Sheamus and Walter or Gunther, and I enjoyed the hell out of that. And the ending was perfect. And as I predicted, what I think is going to happen, Bryan Danielson, I think, is going to beat Moxley for that belt. They want someone who can galvanize people. Someone no one hates, that they can hold the belt for a little while until they kind of get their house back in order after the CM Punk Young Bucks thing. And of course, Moxley coming out and just taking a look at Danielson was pretty cool. So those are my thoughts on it overall. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I echo the sentiments, man. Sammy, I was thinking the same thing about Sammy and Mox. It's like, this really kind of shouldn't have worked, and it worked great.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, it is two guys that have no regard for their personal safety.
Yeah.
So, I guess you could kind of predict that something exciting was going to happen at the very least. How am I supposed to give a shit about the firm? How? Yeah. There's not a singular reason to care. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
I thought his promo was good though, but I hear your point.
Stokely is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's
great.
Promos.
Yeah,
he's always been phenomenal.
Yeah, true.
Look at your personnel. Like, it's like, having the greatest. It was like Al Davis. You know what I mean? During the worst years of the Raiders, he's still charismatic and talks all the shit, but the team is garbage. Who cares?
It's like watching Hard Knocks with the Lions. Dan Campbell is a damn good coach, but the Lions are still going to lose on Sunday. Yeah,
son, like badly. You know what I mean? So that's what that is.
You put some respect on Marquise Tuliasa Sopo. All
right.
Respect on you being able to say that name. That's respect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Overall thought on the show, needs more Ricky Starks. We got to get behind this guy.
Yeah.
We got to get behind this guy. This guy is. I still can't believe they did him like they did it All Out. It made no sense. Just to have a rematch to where he's probably going to win. I don't get it. He is a genuine homegrown talent you guys have that people are behind and emotional about. Run with this kid.
Yeah.
I mean, what, are we having Mario Brothers characters show up now in AEW like that?
Luigi Primo.
I don't no, 1,000 times no. Yeah, man. We need a story in the women's division. That's ultimately, we need a story. Okay, Tony's the champion. What's the story?
Yeah.
People want the belt. That's it. Like, we need a personal issue amongst the women's division, which is why the Jamie Hayter segment worked. There's history with her and Britt. We don't know what's going on with her. She's not on Britt's side, but she's also not on Tony's side. Right. Okay, there's the seedlings of something. Give it to us across the board, and you're going to have something with this women's division.
They just have to be able to act. They have to be able to act. And, Chris, create all the storylines you want. Not a lot of them can act. And when you're watching them, and that matters. That matters. And, but you're right.
Add some mouthpieces then.
Yeah, exactly.
In the division. There's women who can talk. Get them in there. Like, come on, let's do something, dog. Yeah. And then, I mean, what are we talking about? Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho are two of the greatest performers ever. Like, I mean, ever.
I watched that match twice back to back because it was so good. Yeah.
They know how to work.
Yeah.
And more than they know how to work, they know psychology. They know how to tell a story. They know how to do the things, which goes back to what we were saying. You have these two guys on your roster, Tony. Give them the book. Do something. Let them figure it out. They'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you mean to tell me if you don't, if this might have been on Conan's show or something. It's like, if you called Chris Jericho and it's like, hey, dude, I need an 8-week program to get Daniel Garcia over. What should we do here? You think he don't got ideas? Yeah. You don't think he knows how to get somebody over? He gets himself over all the time. And he's a dinosaur in this business as far as like, if you want to go by how people generally fade out at this time, come on, man. You got the personnel. These are the pedigree of pro wrestling going at it in a main event spot. This ain't Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia for the Ring of Honor pure title in your main event on national television. Yeah. No, this is what main event slots are for. This is the personnel that needs to be involved when you do this kind of thing. It was great. It was great. It was great. While they still haven't addressed the elephant in the room in AEW as far as the world title is concerned, this is a great alternative.
But they let a dude hold a sign up that said Punk owns the Bucks. That was that was crazy that sign wasn't ripped out of the fans' hand, man.
A little interesting wrinkle to all this.
Okay.
Have you noticed that the media scrum is still on AEW's official YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if this is a big problem for AEW and the company, why is it still available? Why can you still at any moment go click it and blah, 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 blah? Dude, don't do what you did with MJF and let the heat die down and then you brought him back and now it's not as special.
It's not. Yes, you're right. 100%.
We're all happy to see him. We're all happy to see him, but it is not what it was when I saw him live at the Forum and people were losing their minds. Yeah. Do not let that happen to this Punk elite thing. Do not let it happen. Yeah. Punk and FTR versus Kenny Omega and the Bucks is the biggest wrestling story you can do right now in all companies. You may disagree with that. I don't know how you could. That is the biggest feud you can do. Do not, I'm going to curse here, do not fuck this up, Tony. It's right there. It's right there for you.
It is.
Do not fuck this up.
Shout out to RuPaul.
And that's Dynamite.
Okay, Aaron, thoughts on Dynamite overall, and then let's get into the Dominic. Oh, let's get into the Sammy stuff after that.
How dare you not put some respect on Jon Moxley, my guy, putting out a great match with Sammy. What is the difference between the Death Rider and the Paradigm Shift? What's the difference?
Good question.
Because one's the Death Rider and but it looks the same.
So the Paradigm Shift is the pure DDT. The Death Rider, he lifts them up off the ground and drops them. That's more Japanese.
Well, actually, when you look at it,
how dare you?
He gets elevated a little. I really did need clarification on that, so I appreciate it. I thought that Moxley and Sammy had a great match, acquitted himself quite well.
Yeah,
Chris, you said it, dude. This is where it becomes negative for the rest of the thing for me. I'm down on MJF, and I'm up on Jon Moxley. I don't know what is happening in my wrestling fandom, but I am so down on MJF. I don't care. Yeah. I'm bored because he's in a feud with Moxley, and it's not for the title because Moxley's not going to win. And it's just, he's a no. He came back this stuff with Punk and the Bucks and whatever you think about it happened, and he's in no man's land again. So it sucks. Jungle Boy defeating Jay Lethal is ridiculous because Luchasaurus should have got involved and to continue a storyline would have been great. I'm more Powerhouse Hobbs than Ricky Starks as well.
Ooh, okay.
I like Powerhouse Hobbs better. Like, I like what he's doing. I've always liked Powerhouse Hobbs.
But you're a lineman, so you have a proclivity for bigger dudes.
I do, but how many times have I preached Ricky Starks is the best in here? I love Ricky Starks, but I'm on Powerhouse Hobbs because I see the diamond that is Powerhouse Hobbs. Just needs a little, and he's good.
Okay.
Swerve in Our Glory, Lucha Brothers, excellent
Dude,
stuff.
it's so good, that match, man.
The stuff with the pizza guy. When I saw it, first of all, this is why the booking is bad. This is an example of why the booking is bad, and they're just going to do whatever they want. You have Alex Marvez doing the backstage, which nobody likes. That's why he got kicked off.
He's terrible.
He's awful.
If he can work, I sure as fuck should be hired by AEW. First of all, I better look at this guy, younger than this guy, and way better than this dude. So watching him do the backstage stuff, he's like someone kicking me in the nuts, like Tay Mello did. Every time I watch him do, I watch the whole Dynamite. I was like, "Fuck," you know. Go ahead. Sorry.
Cornette calls him Officer Bar Brady. So ding, 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 ding. So they do this thing with Alex Marvez, who nobody likes. And it's like, here's this indie guy who I'm sure everybody saw the video going around on YouTube of Luigi Primo doing the fucking Rooney deal.
Yeah.
And then Ethan Page, who comes in and like does the leg slap kick to take him down. And Ethan Page, who is, I like Ego. I like Ethan Page as a person.
Sure.
I like Julian as a guy. But when he came in and he was like, I'm the only person in here taking it seriously. It's like, dude, that had -5 charisma. Like, just oof, out of the room. And then here comes the charisma. Here comes fucking Danhausen.
Yeah, true.
Who calls Ego Page Egon, and it's hilarious. And then he said that Ego says, I'm going to beat up the Jester. And then Danhausen says, yes, Egon, we will get that Jester. I love Danhausen. It works for Danhausen.
I love Bling
because that's his deal.
Yeah.
But having this goof Luigi Primo on TV when you don't have FTR on your television, when you don't have Andrade on your television, Roosh, Miro, and I'm talking, these are the guys that had a problem with it. Anthony Ogogo was very pissed off. So was Miro. So was Andrade. They were fucking pissed that this happened because they're sitting on the sidelines while this is happening. Another thing I had a problem with.
Okay.
How in the world do you have Pac, the bastard Pac, backstage, get sucker punched by Orange Cassidy? And I don't mean like, it's different if like he knocked him out and then Pac was like face down looking away. He fucking looked like he got shot. Yeah. He's like laying on the ground like this. And I was like, this is fucking stupid. And what babyface sucker punches somebody? Yeah. I don't know. So that sucked. And then where are we going? I hate to say this too, but Ember Moon or Athena?
Yeah.
Charisma vacuum.
Yeah, you're not wrong, dude. This is why this is why the WWE let her go, man. They don't sense that the fans necessarily go along with her. And you're right. Yeah.
Trash. That's
why the Jade Cargill thing went nowhere. It just totally went nowhere. Yeah.
Still looking for Jade Cargill. Like I can't find her. I don't know where she is. She's a champion. She's never on the damn show. Jamie Hayter, good to see her getting some stuff. Danielson and Jericho was great. That was good. And then Daniel Garcia, who I swear to God is the fucking It Follows sex demon. Like, I cannot outrun this guy or drive to the end of the earth without Daniel Garcia showing up on my TV, on my computer, on my phone, looking around my street. There's him just slowly walking towards me. Like, haha, I'm on your television. Like, no! God, stop. And don't break the fourth wall like that ever again. It's terrible. It's terrible television. Daniel Garcia has been in more main event spots in AEW than Bryan Danielson. Do I know that for a fact? No, I don't. But I feel like it's true. So that's AEW Dynamite. Fucking fix it. That's all I got to say.
Well, let's deal with the Sammy Guevara thing. Let's make a little detour into that. There were some, as Aaron pointed out, there were some cryptic posts. Apparently, he posted on Instagram and Twitter. And so these posts are kind of interesting to think about. I haven't seen too much like authentic speculation. This is 13 hours ago from Sammy Guevara, which of course is that scene from Truman Show where he says for the last time, good night, was good morning, good afternoon, and good night, in case I don't see you again, and walks out and then tweeted this: I hope you have a life you're proud of. And if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start over again. We came up short last night. It is what it is. Thank you to everyone who's helped me get to this point. It's been a hell of a ride. Where do we go next? We go with faith. And then this one from September 15th, which is just a few days ago. The most important thing in the world is family. We will always stick together. There's no place like home. So, and then on Instagram, let me just read what I have here for the Instagram stuff. He posted a quote by screenwriter Eric Roth that does get erroneously attributed to F. Scott Fitzgerald, where it says, we came up short last night. As I said, it is what it is. Thank you to everyone who's helped me get to this point. It's in a right. Where we go next, we go in faith. So what does this mean? And the first photo is him shaking hands with Cody Rhodes. So is he making the move to WWE? Is his contract up? Is he forcing his way out? What's this situation? Or is this for attention? What is this all about?
Feels like we're making a mountain out of a molehill to me.
Really?
It feels like Sammy, I mean, wrestlers do this. You know what I mean? Like every now and then they'll just like inspirational sort of reflection on their time in the business. And then people are like, what are they doing? Are they retiring? Are they going to, what's happening next? It's like, he's got a match on Rampage, dude. Like, it's good. It's good. He's going to be around. I don't know if Aaron, are you looking up how long his contract is?
No, I'm sorry. I was looking up something funny.
Oh, okay.
About him? Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got some time left on there. I think that the Cody thing, because also it was the Cody picture. That was his first big feud when Cody.
That was the first Dynamite match.
Right. Exactly. And then you showed him with the Inner Circle, and it showed him with so it's like the different phases of his career. You got to remember, this is a guy who, I mean, was indie as indie gets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't an NXT wrestler. He wasn't on Impact. He wasn't. I saw this dude in PWG, and then it was like the next week he was on AEW. You know what I'm saying? So I'd imagine he's overwhelmed by all that's happened in these last 3 years.
The stuff with Eddie and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's probably like, I'm going to take a moment of reflection here. Like, I got a new wife, and my family, and I'm making money, and I got fans, and it wasn't like this 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. And so he's just taking some time, and it is Hispanic Heritage Month. He's in all sorts of reflection mode.
We saw Thunder Rosa do something like this recently, right? And a lot of people are speculating that she's out. We haven't seen her, unlike Guevara with the match on Friday. But also they announced that he is going to be facing Eddie at a Grand Slam. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, I guess he's not necessarily out. So maybe he's doing it for attention. Maybe he's just frustrated by the whole situation. But I just think I got no problem with you taking a moment, taking the time. Why are you doing it publicly? You're clearly doing something publicly for the attention, to push some narrative or whatever. It's not about talking to your fans. When you're at a certain level like Sammy is, you're on TV, you got a following. There's a responsibility. So if you're going to tweet about something or post about something on Instagram, people are going to speculate. And you've clearly got a reason of why you're doing it. And it isn't because you just want to sit down with 237,000 of your followers and be like, hey, help me out with this situation I'm navigating emotionally. It's not what that's all about. So clearly there's something he's trying to do here on the social media side of things, some kind of response he's trying to elicit. So I wonder where it's going to go. And by the way, as a side thing, kind of funny to see Tay Mello and Renee Paquette go at it on Twitter during the match of Moxley and Guevara. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Chris, maybe it's just like everything's getting to him and he needs a little bit of break. He's a young kid. Certainly the relationships situation was very controversial. Then the stuff with Eddie Kingston is very controversial. So who knows? Because they've reportedly mended fences, but maybe they just felt like, kind of seeing what they're, maybe he felt like, I'm going to fish for some compliments and get some reactions and see what that is. Because that also can be cachet when you're going into a contract negotiation. Look at how many people are responding to me. Look at how many people love what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. So maybe that's a part of it too. Any final words on this, Aaron?
Yeah, I'd like to quote Stephen A. Smith.
Oh boy.
And this is my feelings on Sammy Guevara. I'll just put it right here.
Here we go.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care. I'm here to
Don't care. If this was like 5 months ago and you were talking to me about Sammy Guevara, I'd probably give a crap. I don't care. I don't care that he got married to Ty Conti. I don't care that he has cats. I don't care. Whatever, dude. I don't care. You have done nothing but take your career and your prestige and your cachet, in my eyes, down the crapper.
Wow.
I don't care. I don't care what you're doing anymore. You have to, in my eyes, of course, who cares? This is me. But like, you have a lot to build to get me to care about Sammy Guevara again. I don't care.
Okay. All right.
At all.
Fair enough. Well, let's take a quick break. We'll answer some of these Streamlabs super chats and then wrap up with SmackDown right after this. All right, we are back. So let's hit some of these super chats before they go away off the screen here. I hate to have that happen. Empire Fans in 1980 says, I'm late, but it won't surprise me if they change Dominic's name to Dominic Guerrero. Also, Rhea Ripley can whisper into my ear and tell me what to do any day. LOL. So there you go. Well said. Well said.
If you're interested, I am selling an autograph Rhea Ripley action figure. You can hit me up on Twitter about that. $60 shipped in the U.S.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Black Sid, yeah. Any thoughts there, Chris? Or did you?
This has been going around for some time. Like ever since he was growing the long hair, and like all the things, and like I'm your poppy. It's been like, oh, revisit the Eddie Guerrero's his real dad thing, which. In hindsight, they admitted that on TV. That was insane. First of all, it's not true. For those that think it's still true.
Yeah, right.
It's not true. But in kayfabe, they said Eddie is his biological father, which is insane. It's an insane thing. But I think the less attention they give that, the better. Leave Eddie Guerrero at peace. Let him rest. Only bring him up to honor him. We do not need, I'm changing my name to Guerrero because it's my real dad.
Oh my God.
We don't need to do that part of it. Leave that alone.
I would love Vicky to show up. It would be great if Vicky showed up.
No, thanks.
Black Cinema Critic said, this is what I mean. Why is Tony Storm losing in a tag match? Where is Miro? Where is Wardlow? This is what I mean with the booking. Mismanaging Jade while giving us a Red Velvet return. These are valid criticisms, I feel like.
Red Velvet returned?
Yeah, I didn't know that happened.
Who cares?
Whatever happened to Lance Archer? Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Gone.
What the hell happened to that dude?
Good point. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Good points. Roberto Arsenal says, the Arthur Ashe card for next week looks good. Tony Khan has to give Hayter the belt soon and not wait too long like you did with Rosa. You just gave it to Tony, though. I don't know how you give it to Hayter immediately. You got to build it, Roberto. Roberto, you want things too quickly, and they don't make sense sometimes. I love you coming on here, but like sometimes you just want to fucking make the change 4 days later. It's like, no, that's not how it works. You got to see how Tony Storm gets over with the fans. Certainly, she's got a lot of people in her corner. Will she sell the merch? Will people watch her matches? Will people stand up and get involved? Then at that point down the road, you can make the change if it isn't quite working. So Hayter certainly is being set up as a future champion, and it'll depend on how this whole program goes down. And Hayter's still young. There's time to put the belt on her. There's no rush to put the belt on her. Just if you build it correctly, it'll hit the crescendo at the right time. So, yeah.
Also, everyone got to be the world champion. We've talked about
good point. Yeah,
the steam that Jade has lost and how the Athena thing was supposed to be like the big feud for her, and it didn't work out. You want to put Hayter over, have her beat Jade.
Ooh, yeah, right. And which was kind of being teased. So that could be fun. Black Cinema Critic says, last one, look at the overbooking of Grand Slam is overstuffed with too many matches and no storylines over quantity. Tony Khan. Do you guys agree?
I mean, there's a couple things. Bryan Danielson and Moxley have that's a storyline built in. They're both teammates. That's built in. And then you have Pac and Orange Cassidy, who have been, kind of going back and forth.
Right.
You've got Swerve and Our Glory versus the Acclaimed, which is like, can the Acclaimed get it done? I mean, there's stories there.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they're good. That's really the question. So
okay. Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now, and on the 21st, if I've got this right, it's Moxley versus Danielson, Swerve versus the Acclaimed, Swerve and Our Glory. It's Tony Storm taking on another 4-way match here. Serena Deeb, Athena,
that's right.
And Dr. Britt Baker. Pac versus Orange Cassidy, and Claudio versus Jericho, because Jericho lost out on one belt, so he's going after another belt. Yeah. And then on Rampage, Sting and Darby Allin versus House of Black, Action and Bronson and Hook versus the Jericho Appreciation Society, Kingston versus Guevara, a Golden Ticket Battle Royale. I guess that's where everybody's going to show up. Cargill versus Diamante. Okay.
Who cares?
I know. God. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks, and then Wardlow and Samoa Joe versus Tony Nese and Josh Woods. I'm telling you this right now. I don't give a fuck about that match.
Fuck about Rampage at all.
I love Samoa, but seeing him show up with Wardlow, I was like, this makes no sense. I don't like anything about this. I love Samoa Joe. So it's rough. All right, so we'll see. Orlando Orego says CM Punk and FTR versus the Elite is a money match. AEW needs to do it. This is something Chris mentioned as well. So yeah, also, I agree 100%. Yeah.
Also, I was seeing like chat in response to that notion, be like, well, Punk is injured. But hey, do you guys remember 96 when Bret Hart was in a wheelchair for several months and was the world champion? You know what I mean? And was the best heel in the company. You think CM Punk can't sit in a wheelchair like his hero, Bret Hart, and get heel heat talking shit about Omega and the Bucks? Of course he can.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin's neck was broken and got the most over he had ever been by just coming out and cutting promos.
He was on TV every week.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And it built. There you go.
Make it happen.
But the Bret Hart thing ended up being, they molded that into Canadian Stampede, which is one of the best pay-per-views that they did during the New Gen era.
Yeah. Good point. John Alexander saying, no comment. Just want to say I appreciate you guys. And hey, likes are free. Let's get these likes up before the show ends. Yeah, people, we got over 100 of you watching right now. Please hit that like button for the love of God. And for those of you watching later, a lot of you do, please hit that like button as well and leave a comment down below. Comments and likes elevate the visibility. They give us more views. More views means more people watching. More people watching means we get into the algorithm of YouTube for pro wrestling stuff. So help us out. Thank you, John. Appreciate it madly. Any more Streamlabs? No. All right. So if you want to
like Danhausen, give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like brother us softly. Give us a little like.
Yeah, there you go. We got 14 minutes left in the show. So send in your Streamlabs now if you want them answered. Send in your support now if you want them answered. Go ahead, Aaron. Let's get into SmackDown and let's get on out of here because I gotta see a movie at 11:30. Let's go.
Oh gosh, okay. Logan Paul got booed, and then the Bloodline came out, which is not what everybody wants. Ricochet defeated Sami Zayn, and then Jay and Sami Zayn get at it. Braun Strowman destroys the Maximum Male Model, so hopefully this will be done now. Bayley defeated Raquel Rodriguez. Liv Morgan interrupts a Ronda Rousey interview to challenge her to an Extreme Rules match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. By the way, Solo Sikoa won the NXT North American Championship this week. Forgot to mention that.
Yes.
He defeated Madcap Moss with some help from Bloodline member Sami Zayn. In a fatal four-way number one contenders match for the number one spot for the tag titles, the Brawling Brutes defeated Imperium, the New Day, and Hit Row to become the new number one contenders.
SmackDown was such a wet fart, man. I fucking was bored most of the time. The Logan Paul stuff totally worked. Loved the promo. That shit went on almost 15 minutes. Great. The stuff with him and Heyman was great. Him clocking Sami Zayn in the neck was fucking great. But also what I was really enjoying about SmackDown, the thing I did enjoy was the Sami Zayn Jay stuff. I love that they finally found a way to kind of make this work in a certain way with Sami Zayn feeling now more and more like he's a member of the bloodline. I love that. There's, again, as I was saying, Roberto Arsenal, the slow progression of things can yield bigger fruit. And certainly seeing Jay now being the one that might be the odd one out of the faction in his own faction of family members, replaced by Sami Zayn, replaced by a white dude. There's just so much you can play with this now. And even his brother Jay, isn't like totally coming after him to. Oh, wait, well, not Jay. Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry, Jimmy isn't going like, Sammy, get off my brother. Like he's like just trying to keep the peace. So that lets it bubble over, and which I think is fun. That's what I was enjoying about it. And having Solo say, Sammy, come with me to the ring, and not Jay. You said, Jay, you're off your game tonight. I thought that was genius. So for me, that's the things that were working. Yeah, Ricochet defeating Sammy was great. Ricochet getting the Ascension. Strowman, I'm kind of bored with it, to be honest with you. Let's put him in a match already. Really? Bailey defeating Raquel Rodriguez. Yeah, no surprise there. You knew it was going to happen. The Liv Morgan Ronda Rousey thing, fuck, man. Neither one of them can fucking act. So you watch them sit there and do this back and forth, and there is not an ounce of genuine fucking tension in this whole thing. You know, everybody has doubted me. Everybody thinks it's because you're not that good. It's not because like we're all just can't fucking see it. You're just not that good. And so to see her be like, oh, I'm the victim here and no one believes in me, and manufacturing that, it just was really, I was like, you know, it's different when you're good and no one believes in you versus you're okay and people are rightfully pointing out the limits of your abilities. And then Ronda going the back and forth. Yeah, I said no respect because, or I said with all due respect, because there is no respect. That's why I said it. What? And so to me, the back and forth between them was just fucking horrible. I don't care about Extreme Rules match. And if she wins against Ronda again, fuck this nonsense. Like, fuck it to hell, man, to be honest with you, in my opinion. Really surprised the Brawling Brutes won. Thought Imperium was going to win that thing. So kind of an interesting decision. Those are my thoughts on SmackDown. All right, what do you guys think?
I'm shocked to hear you call it a wet fart. I mean, look, granted, I was there ringside, NBD, but it was, I had a great time. I thought it was a good show. Logan
Paul.
Like
those critics that go to the premiere, like, it's a great movie.
I don't know. Hey, what do you want from me, baby? You know what I'm saying? WWE. But, yeah. The Logan Paul segment I thought was good. Like I said, the element that doesn't work is that Logan Paul, nobody wants to cheer for him.
Yeah.
No matter how good his SummerSlam match was, and he won them over in that match, it has not continued. He's a natural heel. You have to find a way to lean into it. And Heyman was the MVP of the segment to me. Sammy is the most over by far. Fans are so ready for him to go babyface. Yeah. And to your point, John, when he fired up and got in Jay's face finally, rather than just kind of take the abuse, everyone lost their mind. Yeah. Great little wrinkle. Like he's starting to slowly become that Sami Zayn that we remember from NXT. So good. But Heyman, I mean, throwing the mic, you know what I mean? When Sammy was like, I got this. Like, it's just like perfect. It's just like so good. That's the best story in wrestling. The bloodline and Sami Zayn.
100%.
Best story in wrestling. Again, yeah, great for Ricochet to pick up another win, another clean win.
Yes.
I'm not bored with Braun yet. The way that the camera, the way they framed it was great. You gotta. I didn't see it in the arena. I watched it later because people were like, "Oh no, the way he comes up behind him in silhouette." They did. I was like, "Oh, okay, let me see it," and I thought it was fantastic. But you know, fuck Braun Strowman ultimately. But you know,
right.
Yeah.
You must be scared though, right? If you're one of the like, here's the deal: he's gonna run full speed and knock you guys over from behind. Like, you must be fucking scared. Like, I'm like,
of course.
I was watching it happen. I'm like, turn around. It was like Jaws. Turn the fuck around, man. Yeah.
Genuine anxiety. Like, this thing is coming. I don't know at what speed, force. I just gotta take it. That's crazy. Yeah. You know, the Bailey thing. It's a lot like, I compare it to the main event of this show. The Brawling Brutes are now way more over because of how over Sheamus got.
Yep.
And even though Bailey is over, Bailey needs a big moment.
Yes.
Upon now that she's returned. I don't know if it's beating Bianca, if that's the right thing to do. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. but she needs a big moment like Sheamus had in order to elevate the other two. Because right now, as much as I'm a fan of Dakota and Io, Bayley is still she's all anyone seems to care about in Damage Control.
Yeah,
and that's a problem.
Which may be why they put the belts on those two ladies too, to try to get more reaction. Yeah.
I feel like their knee, they were cut off at the knees by not winning it initially.
Yeah,
because now you've wasted weeks. Yeah. And then the crown jewel match didn't mean as much because it was so telegraphed that they had to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like it hurt them really bad. So now it's going to be up to Bayley to have a big moment to reignite the interest in this stable. Yeah. Shout out to Bayley Martinez. And then, dude, I
fucking shameless.
I had no idea Madcap Moss could wrestle. So that was kind of cool to see. Solo Sikoa is dope. I think he's rad. I think he's effing rad. And again, furthering the whole Heyman and Jay don't like Sammy. Everyone else seems totally fine with Sammy and Jimmy in the middle, who just doesn't want the family to fight. It's just such a good dynamic. It's just such intriguing, compelling television. Yeah. I love it. And then the main event, fucking banger. Absolute banger. But how do you not have a banger with the clientele? New Day, as much as they are just like, they're like Snoop Dogg. They're just like eternal. Yeah. Like there's just no, it's just like, oh yeah, the New Day. You know what I mean? Like who doesn't love the New Day? They're fantastic. Wood's such an underrated wrestler. I love when he gets a chance to really show what he can do. Imperium is great. Top Dollar having a big moment, catching the two dudes and picking up the third dude. And then the big pop when he gets sidewalk slammed for a near fall. Great moment. And then the Brutes pick up a win, and that's going to be a great match between them and the Usos when it finally happened. So I was thoroughly satisfied, man. And the Ronda, you know who Ronda Rousey should be booked like? Not even Lesnar, Taz. She should be booked like Taz was in ECW. You don't say a whole lot. He puts the towel on his head and beats the shit out of somebody.
The Mike Tyson approach. No fanfare. I'm wearing the black socks and the shoes, the black shorts, and my towel. Let's go.
Why is that so hard? With
That's kind of genius, actually. I kind of love that. That would be the way to do it.
I don't get it. Why do they want her to talk so bad?
Have Liv sit down, do a whole fucking minute-long monologue, and Ronda just stand up and walk out. It would be brilliant. Yeah.
Or stand up and smack the taste out of her mouth like freaking Jerry Lawler did, Andy Kaufman.
That's it.
Like, okay, all right, I hear what you're saying. Wham! And just destroy her. Like, I'm not here to talk. I'm gonna beat you up. What are we talking for? That should be Ronda. No talk. Yeah. All action. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good tagline. Do that, WWE. I'm here.
I know like Heyman's doing the stuff with Roman, but that can't go on forever. Like, what if armchair booking, of course. What if there was a moment backstage where like Ronda does that? She like slaps the dog shit out of somebody. And they pan over. There's Heyman, just like
could be interesting.
I do something.
Yeah, maybe down the road
with Ronda, and then you can kind of present her like Brock or somebody like that if you wanted to. She is Brock Lesnar. She has more physical not toughness, but like she has more MMA style. Like she could beat the shit out of pretty much anybody on that roster. I would say probably everybody, like woman or maybe man. But like she's just a different animal, and I don't think that WWE has had that in the women's division. They've had that in the men's division, and they booked, monstrous men for years. But it's hard to book. I think it's hard for them to figure out how to book a female like Beast like that. Yeah, and they just keep falling flat on their face. Well, she's got to talk. People got to like her. No, they don't. People in MMA didn't really like her, despite how she may be in person. She's a sweetheart. It's just not working in WWE, and it doesn't make sense that Liv Morgan is beating her and Shayna Baszler. It makes absolutely no sense. But I don't know, man. You got to work within your system, I guess. Like, where's Charlotte Flair? Where's Nakamura? Why aren't the Viking Raiders in the tag stuff? Because didn't they win the feud with the New Day? A lot of stuff is confusing again. Maybe like Nakamura is waiting to be represented, and Charlotte's kind of Teflon. Sasha and Naomi are at the Andor premiere. Like, we're just kind of hanging out. So
yeah.
I don't know, man. But they keep making like little tweaks that are good. Like they brought back Hit Row, and they've kind of focused on Top Dollar. He's done pretty good. They bring back Imperium together, and they've done that, and it looks good together again. So it's like they're doing these great things, but they're also like, this Ronda shit in Liv stuff is getting annoying, and it's just like, God, move on. That's kind of my thoughts on SmackDown. I only caught the highlights. I didn't really watch it, so I'm sorry about that. But that's all I had.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, let's wrap it up there. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, go ahead. One more thing. In
that, I have a trivia question.
Oh, okay.
Let's bring back trivia. One question, just one, right. Just one. And this is for both of you guys. Either one can answer.
Okay.
We talked about the PWI 500 earlier. I would like to know who in the history of the PWI 500 has been ranked number 1 the most times. No answers in the chat or I'll kill you.
I would imagine Rocha and I would assume the same person, and it would be Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. Wrong. I will tell you this. It is not Ric Flair.
Wow.
Though the PWI was around when Ric Flair was around, he is not number 1 the most times.
Okay,
it can't be. It's not sure as fuck ain't Hogan. Bret Hart.
What? We are the same human being right now. I was like about to say that too.
The answer will surprise you.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's not hard. Okay.
I'm gonna do a Hail Ass Mary. Okay, I'm gonna say Roman Reigns.
All right, John. Final answer.
Savage. I don't know. Randy Savage.
The correct answer is this gentleman has been on number 1 3 times.
Only 3
in
times.
2006, 2007.
Fuck.
And 2013. It is the face that runs the place. John Cena has topped the list of those times. John Cena, top dog.
Damn.
John Cena.
Madness. As soon as you said 2006, I was like, motherfucker.
John Cena. Number 1.
Really? Only 3 times. That's the most ever, though. That's surprising.
Ric Flair. That seems insane. That seems so insane.
Who was better than Ric Flair in all those years? I would love to know. That's
Cena is numero 1 for our Hispanic heritage.
No hate from me. No hate from me. I love him.
All right, let's get on out of here. I got to see Woman King in 29 minutes. Aaron Turner, where can people find you, brother? Another great show.
The next 2 weeks, you can find me not here because I'll be in a foreign country. I will be in Aruba for the next 2 weeks. So you will not see me here. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at only Aaron Turner. I will be turning my phone off next Friday. So goodbye.
And the TikTok. Tell them where to follow.
Oh, sorry. Strong_style_live on the TikTok. Thank you.
There you go. Chris, another fun show. Where can they find you, brother?
At Chris_please on all the social media things. Please keep brothering us softly with the likes. That's going to be my new catchphrase going forward. You guys are going to have to deal with that. If you're in the LA area, I've decided to start throwing local shows again. So I'm basically at the Improv every Sunday. Nice. If you guys want to see some yucks. So yeah, holla at me.
There you go. As for me, you can always find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. And please subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you see we're dropping all the content we do. We just dropped the new Jedi Way, giving you a preview of Andor, the Geek Buddies, 3 episodes this past week, talking about the new House of Dragon episode, the new She-Hulk episode, and our main show as well. Of course, we'll be doing Andor reviews next week as well. So the smoke's coming off everything in the Outlaw Nation offices for sure. So come aboard and subscribe and hit that bell button so you can see it all. All right, y'all are great. We love you madly. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new live episode of Strong Style.